There's something undeniably comforting about a perfectly braised corned beef brisket. Its rich flavors, tender texture, and that unmistakable savory aroma bring warmth to any gathering, from St. Patrick's Day feasts to quiet Sunday dinners. But achieving that melt-in-your-mouth perfection isn't just about tossing a slab of brisket in the pot and hoping for the best. It's about understanding the process, cherishing the ingredients, and giving the dish the time and attention it deserves. Today, let's embark on a journey through the steps and secrets behind crafting a braised corned beef brisket that will truly melt in your mouth. Begin with the brisket itself, a cut that's known for its flavor, but also for its toughness. That toughness is exactly why brisket is so wonderful when braised. It needs long, slow cooking to break down the connective tissues, and when treated with patience, it transforms into something magical. The corned beef you choose can make a difference. Ideally, select a brisket that's well marbled with fat, about 3 to 4 pounds, and already corned, meaning it's been cured in a brine with salt and spices. If your brisket comes with a spice packet, set it aside. You'll be building a richer flavor profile from scratch. Before you start cooking, take a moment to prepare the brisket. If it's excessively salty, soak it in cold water for about an hour to draw out some of the saltiness, changing the water once or twice. This step is optional but can help balance the flavors, especially if you prefer a more nuanced taste. Now let's talk about the braising liquid. The heart of this recipe lies in layering flavors. Start by gathering your aromatic vegetables: 2 large onions, peeled and sliced, 3 carrots, scrubbed and cut into large chunks, and 3 celery stalks, also roughly chopped. For depth, add a few cloves of garlic, crushed, not minced, to release their aroma, without overpowering the dish. Next, build the spice blend. Whole spices bring a complexity that ground spices simply can't match. In a small bowl, combine a tablespoon of whole black peppercorns, a tablespoon of mustard seeds, a teaspoon of coriander seeds, 4 to 6 whole cloves, 2 bay leaves, and a small piece of cinnamon stick. If you like a hint of warmth, toss in a few allspice berries or a star anise pod. This combination is reminiscent of classic pickling spice, but with a custom touch that elevates the brisket. Now, onto the liquid. While water is traditional, substituting part of the liquid with low-sodium beef broth adds richness, and a cup of good quality beer, such as a stout or amber ale, introduces a malty, slightly sweet undertone. Don't worry, the alcohol will cook off, leaving behind only flavor. For a little acidity to balance the richness, add a tablespoon or 2 of apple cider vinegar. With everything ready, it's time to bring the dish together. Set a large, heavy-bottomed pot or Dutch oven over medium-high heat. Add a splash of oil and, if you like, sear the brisket on both sides until it's browned and caramelized. This step isn't strictly necessary, but it adds extra flavor through the Maillard reaction, the magic that happens when proteins and sugars brown together. Once the brisket is seared, remove it to a plate and add the onions, carrots, and celery to the pot. Sauté for a few minutes, scraping up any browned bits from the bottom. Add the garlic, cook for another minute, then pour in the beer and let it bubble, reducing slightly. Add the broth, the spice mixture, and the bay leaves. Return the brisket to the pot, nestling it among the vegetables, and add enough water to just cover the meat. Bring the liquid to a gentle simmer, then cover the pot tightly with a lid. Transfer it to a preheated oven set at 300 degrees Fahrenheit, or, if you prefer, let it gently simmer on the stovetop. The key is low and slow. Braise the brisket for 3 to 4 hours, turning it once or twice until it's fork tender but not falling apart. As the brisket cooks, the aromas will fill your kitchen, each hour deepening the flavors further. About an hour before the meat is done, consider adding wedges of green cabbage, halved small potatoes, or additional carrots to the pot. They'll absorb the flavors of the braising liquid and become tender, classic accompaniments to corned beef. When the brisket yields easily to a fork, remove it from the braising liquid and tend it loosely with foil to rest. This step is crucial. Resting allows the juices to redistribute throughout the meat, ensuring every slice is moist and flavorful. Meanwhile, skim any excess fat from the surface of the braising liquid. You can serve the vegetables and potatoes as they are, or, for a more refined touch, strain the liquid, discard the whole spices, and spoon a little over the sliced brisket as a sauce. Some like to reduce the liquid further in a saucepan, intensifying its flavor, and finish with a knob of butter for a glossy finish. When it's time to serve, slice the brisket against the grain into thick, generous slices. The texture should be tender enough to cut with a fork, each piece infused with the flavors of spices, beer, and vegetables. Arrange the slices atop the vegetables and potatoes, ladle a bit of the sauce over, and sprinkle with a handful of chopped fresh parsley for color and brightness. Of course, the beauty of braised corned beef brisket is that it's even better the next day. Leftovers make incredible sandwiches. Pile slices on rye bread with a smear of mustard, a few slices of Swiss cheese, and a heap of tangy sauerkraut. Or, chop the meat and vegetables together for a hearty hash, topped with a fried egg for breakfast. But let's linger for a moment on what makes this dish truly special. Braising is an act of patience and care, a process that rewards you with flavors and textures that simply can't be rushed. Each ingredient plays its part, the brisket providing substance and richness, the vegetables lending sweetness and depth, the spices infusing warmth and complexity, and the gentle heat of the oven coaxing everything into harmony. For many, corned beef brisket is more than just a meal. It's a tradition, a dish that brings people together, that speaks of heritage and home, and that satisfies in a way few others can. Whether you're celebrating a holiday, gathering with friends, or simply treating yourself to a comforting dinner, this melt-in-your-mouth braised corned beef brisket is sure to become a favorite. So, the next time you crave something hearty, flavorful, and soul-warming, remember this recipe. Take your time with it, savor the aromas as it cooks, and enjoy every tender bite. With each step, you're not just making dinner, you're creating an experience, one that will linger in memory long after the plates are cleared.